The most important day of your summer is not the vacation, not the holiday, and certainly not the solstice. It's today, a completely ordinary Tuesday, and I'll show you why. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Lisa, and this is June week 4, finding the whole summer hiding inside an ordinary Tuesday. Today is about everyday presence, the nothing special day where being in the moment matters most. Let me ask you something. When you picture a meaningful summer, what do you see? Probably a highlight reel. The trip, the beach, the long weekend, the big celebration, the picnic. And certainly those days do matter. And of course they do. But here's the math nobody likes to do. A summer is roughly 90 days. Maybe 10 of them are highlights, which means about 80 of them are Tuesdays. Ordinary, unremarkable, nothing special days. And if your sense of a good life is stored entirely in the 10, you're going to miss 80 of the 90 days of your one summer. That's not a small leak, that's most of the boat. So today, I want to make the case for the ordinary Tuesday as the real home of this practice. There's a researcher I come back to again and again, Ellen Langer at Harvard. She's often called the mother of mindfulness research, and her definition is refreshingly simple. Mindfulness, she says, is the act of actively noticing new things. That's it. Not emptying your mind, not sitting, in a lotus position for an hour, just noticing something you haven't noticed before. And across decades of studies, Langer has shown that when people draw fresh distinctions in familiar situations, when they look at the ordinary as if it were new, their attention sharpens and their mood lifts. And some of her most striking work, even the body response. Langer once ran a now famous study where she had older men live for a week as if it were decades earlier, surrounded by the music, the news, the objects of their youth, and simply inhabiting that mindset, paying fresh attention to a younger world, measurably improved their eyesight, their posture, and even how young strangers, someone that they just met, guess them to be. That's how powerful noticing is. The mind leads and the body follows. Now, I'm not asking you to redecorate your house. I'm asking you to bring that same fresh attention to today, that one Tuesday, because the cost of mindlessness is quietly enormous. It isn't that an autopilot day goes badly, it's that it doesn't register at all. You can't even remember it by Friday. It's simply gone. And a life is mostly these kind of Tuesdays. Lose them to autopilot, and you're losing most of your life. The opposite of mindfulness in her framing isn't stress, it's mindlessness. Running through a day on autopilot, treating everything as the same gray thing you've seen 1,000 times. And honestly, that's what most Tuesdays become. Same commute, same coffee, same scroll. The day evaporates because we've decided in advance that nothing in it is worth noticing. And here's where the 7 questions step in. And you only need the first 2. Question 1, aware. What am I doing right now? On a slow Tuesday, that question is almost subversive because the honest answer is usually, I have no idea. I'm on autopilot. Just asking it brings you back into the day. And question 2, because, why am I doing this? This is the one that breaks the trance. So much of an ordinary day runs on momentum we never choose. You check the phone because you always check the phone. You rush through dinner because rushing is the default speed. Question 2 interrupts the automatic and asks you to look at it. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to add anything to your Tuesday. You don't need a special practice or 30 free minutes you don't have. You just need to do the things you're already doing awake. Notice one new thing about a street you've walked 100 times. Taste the coffee like it's the first cup. Feel the warm air on the way to the car. Langer's whole body of work says that this small shift, ordinary made new, is where well-being actually comes from, not the highlight reel, the Tuesday. So if you've been waiting for your real summer to start on some bigger, better day, just stop waiting. It's already here. It's disguised as an ordinary day. And here's today's challenge. Pick one thing you'll do on autopilot today, coffee, commute, walk to the door, and then do it like Ellen Langer would. Actively notice one new thing about it you've never noticed before, one detail. And that's the whole practice on an everyday, ordinary Tuesday. So do this before you forget. Subscribe so that the next slow summer day finds you. Share this with someone who's living on autopilot and comment one new thing you noticed today in the comments. I read every single comment. So, one new thing you noticed today. And carry this out the door with you. You don't get a better summer by waiting for a better day. You get it by waking up to this one. So, go notice your Tuesday. Like, subscribe, follow, share, do all the things, and I'll see you next time.